Hey everybody, Robert from Black Belt Gaming. It is Halloween 2023 here in Japan. I thought this would be a great day to see if we could finish my solo playthrough, Call of Cthulhu, the starter box. We're going through Alone Against the Flames. Let's pick up where we left off last time. So we've been through quite an interesting little, we've had quite an interesting day as we've tried to get out of this village. We have really no way out. We've met a pretty scary looking dude who told us about the great old ones and some sort of fiery sacrifice, and the people that are in charge of it these days don't really know the true significance of what's going on. Just a bunch of weird stuff that I don't completely understand. But he told me I was in danger, and if things got desperate, he taught me a special chant that I should use in case of an emergency. We were then attacked by unknown attackers. They started stabbing him to death, and found out that this guy evidently knows how to invoke some magic and set some of these enemies on fire before he died. Anyway, I have gone back to the familiar surroundings of the guest room, pretty much acting like nothing happened, because I feel like the rest of the village may be against me with ill intentions. And I'm lying on this bed, staring at a small crack in the ceiling, and I'm wondering if I should let myself fall asleep or stay awake. I would guess after the experiences that I've had, there would naturally be some fight or flight kicking in, so I would probably, even if I wanted to sleep, I would probably stay awake. So let's go to 2:30. It says sleep presses down on you. You blink it back and sit up, trying to think through your situation. Everything in Emberhead seems to be working to stop you from leaving. Perhaps the answer is to strike out at first light, to walk as far and as fast as you can. You can always return for your possessions, and if you lose them, you have nothing so precious that it cannot be replaced. A tiny creak draws your attention to the other side of the room. Slowly, almost silently, the doorknob is turning. Pretend to be asleep or grab it and wrench the door open. I would say let's grab that door and wrench it open. You heave the door open, ready for a confrontation, and May stands on the other side, wrapped in her bed jacket, and steps back in alarm. "You seemed not yourself," she stammers. "I wanted to check up on you." You assure May that you're in fine health and watch as she returns to her own bedroom. Once the door has closed, you borrow a kitchen chair to wedge it under your door handle. Perhaps this piece of fortification will permit you a few hours of restful sleep. You awaken to the sound of feet in the street outside. Your night's rest has brought a new determination. Today you will meet Emberhead on your own terms. You may restore 1 hit point if you've been wounded. We actually recovered our hit point of damage from the bus ride, so we are at full health, 10 hit points, so we're just feeling refreshed, I guess. The Ledbetter kitchen is empty, although bread and eggs have been laid out for your breakfast. There is a note from May explaining that she's taken Ruth out for a few hours. I believe Ruth is her daughter. If you were involved in a fight in the village last night and want to investigate the aftermath, go to 70. Otherwise, go to 78. if you were involved in a fight in the village. Well, there sort of was, where the guy was stabbed to death, but I don't know if I want to indicate. I don't know. I mean, the attackers would certainly know that I was there. They attacked me too. Ah. Yeah, I guess I would be eager to see if there was any evidence of the fight. You feel skittish as you approach the spot where you and Arbogast were attacked. Your memory of the encounter is shaky, but you remember one or two vivid images. At first, you think there is nothing to see. No discarded weapons or figures lying unconscious. But upon closer examination, you find sticky, congealed patches and blackened lines in the grass. If the village had a police station, you could go there, but something tells you the events have gone beyond that. You make a quiet circuit of the village, pausing in unobtrusive places to watch the villagers. It is rather busy for this time in the morning. Yawning locals stream back and forth along the roads, carrying bundles of split logs to the site of what you've heard referred to as the beacon. You see two figures already up in its superstructure, arranging the wood. The festival bonfire will be most impressive, but do you intend to stay to see it? You suspect by now that something is amiss here. While the villagers are distracted, you may do some illicit investigation, or you may simply leave town without looking back. He told me that I can't run away. It won't work. But let's take a look and see what we have. Search May Ledbetter's bedroom. Go alone to the village hall. Take a closer look at the artisan's courtyard. Spy on activity at the beacon. Or try to flee. I've just been told fleeing isn't an option, so I think I know that May is out of the house right now, so let's go back there. Despite her hospitality, you do not trust May Ledbetter. No, I don't. You return to her house quite openly. Where else would you go? Inside, the dwelling is still empty. You rap on the bedroom door and wait. Silence. You ease it open. The Ledbetter room is marked as a marked contrast to your own. A neat space. Oh, my own is a neat space. Hers is dirty clothes and piled up around the floor. A rough quilt. School books and cheap novels. You notice a raggedy old doll discarded down by the side of the bed. All right, spot hidden. My spot hidden, we'll do a double check here, is 60. Well, that's a 95, I think. No, that's a 65. It's still a miss. Rats, we failed. So we need to go to 89. You go through the drawers. The only item of interest you find is a wedding photograph. May's husband was a wiry man with a square chin. Despite the formality of the pose, you can see the affection between them. You feel a pang of guilt at your intrusion. Also may return at any time. If you wish to push the spot hidden roll, you may roll again. If you succeed, go to 95, and if you fail, 101. If you would rather not risk it, go to 120. If I wish to push the roll. Okay, nothing so special. It's just a second attempt is possible, but the consequences are more severe, I guess, if you fail. I think I'm going to try to push this roll. Let's give it another shot. Spot hidden. And this time we got a 14. That is a success. I feel like there's something here. So if you succeed, go to 95. You notice scrapes on the floorboards corresponding to the legs of the bed. With effort, you slide the bed away. There is a rug spread beneath it, and beneath the rug a trapdoor. You ease it open. The dark space beneath is some kind of cellar. Yeah, we'll go down and check it out. The daylight barely offers enough illumination to see, but a hot lantern during the daytime would be very suspicious. You squeeze beneath the floor and glance around. Your first impression is that May keeps her junk here, for there are many boxes of different sizes piled in untidy heaps. It takes a few seconds before you realize they are all traveling trunks and suitcases, and there are about 20 of them. I wonder if this is the possessions of past travelers that have stayed in her house. Yeah, the implication hits you hard. You maintain enough control to check the luggage tags. You count 8 or 9 different names before you stop. Scrambling back up to the bedroom, you close the trapdoor with trembling fingers, returning the bed to its place. You feel a deepening unease about Emberhead and this day in particular. Once you have attempted 3 of the options below, go to 98. Otherwise, you may, well, you can search May's bedroom. Well, we've been doing that. Go alone to the village hall. Take a closer look at the courtyard. Spy on the activities, or try to get out of there. I just feel for certain that trying to get out of there is going to fail. We've been told that that's impossible. I don't know why I would just outright believe that, but surely, I don't know, surely they would lock me up or something if it was just as easy as walking out of there. So, let's go to the village hall by ourselves. 126. Keeping away from the streets, you skirt the northern cliffs and approach the village from the rear. It is close to the beacon, and you will not be able to use the door unobserved. You check the windows. The one on the east side facing the beacon is bricked up. A shutter is loose on the westernmost window, and you're able to ease it open and slide inside, closing the shutter behind you. You drop into the village meeting room and pad through, passing through dim shafts of light and listening to the excited chatter of the locals outside. The door opposite reads private. Hearing nothing from the other side, you turn the handle. The room is lined with books. In the corner is a small water closet and pantry. A quick survey of the rest of the room reveals little, so you turn to the bookcase. The dim light makes it difficult to read the spines. Is there anything useful here? Well, I can already see spot hidden is a pretty important skill to have. I probably should have given it more than I have it. That's an 86. That is a failure. Not very good luck, huh? Let's see, where are we now? 133. All right, you make, let's see, if you have examined the bookshelf before, Wait a minute, have we examined the bookshelf before? I don't think so. So if you examine the bookshelf before, you may have a bonus die. If you succeed, if you do not, go to 140. I don't remember if we had examined it before. I'm not sure. So let's just move on with our failure. Tucked between two books, you find a detailed map of the area around Emberhead. It shows woodland contours and the two roads east and west. Although no other settlements are marked, it may prove useful if you decide to leave today. The clatter of activity around the beacon seems to be building, and you flinch at every conversation that gets too close to the building's door. It feels the right time to retrace your steps, slipping away out of the window. All right, it's just taking us back here. Let's take a look at the, well, it would kind of be natural to spy on the activity at the beacon. I'm right there. Let's do that. The northern side of the village is bustling, and you're unlikely to remain hidden there for long. You head in the direction of the church and then move up the east side behind the houses. A drop looms on your right. One particular section of the ground is quite narrow, and you have to hug the building for support. You may give this approach up and go to 120. To proceed, compare your size to your dex. If your dex is higher, go to 42. If your size is higher, make a size roll. Well, if your dex is higher, go to 42. I'm pretty sure my dex is higher. My size is 50 and my dex is 80. So that's pretty good. All right, so we were able to successfully get in a good position to watch the activities, and it sent us here. Good thing our dexterity was high enough. You lie concealed in the grass and watch the activity around the beacon. Villagers bring in yet more bundles of tinder and stack them in neat piles. Another shift passes, the bundles up to the pair of men standing on the raised platform of the beacon. They are constructing a triangular structure resembling a gigantic campfire. As you watch, you are struck by the manner of the laborers. This is their festival. You would expect a cheerful atmosphere and some light-hearted conversation, yet the faces show resignation and detachment, others a naked dread. You watch for a good half an hour before you slip away. Well, the other thing I would do, I've got one more choice. I can either go to the artisan's courtyard, or I can try to go down the east road and get out of here. I still don't think that's going to work. So if I can just find anything that can help me, let's go to the courtyard. You approach around the back of the building in Emberhead's northwestern corner. By this time in the morning, you would expect activity in the artisan's courtyard, but the benches and anvils sit deserted. Your footsteps echo off the surrounding walls. One of the workshops is shut up and padlocked. You peek through the joints, but you can see nothing inside. Try to crack the padlock, try to physically break in, or to move on to another area. I don't have any lock-picking skill, but let's take a look at that. It's 225. You examine the lock. It's old and not particularly secure. There are plenty of metal shavings around that could work as improvised picks, but can you really pick a lock? Well, make a locksmith roll. You may double your skill for this roll only. If you succeed or if you fail. I've got a huge chance of failure here, I'm sure. 1%. And I can double that to 2. All right. There's no way. That's a 59. Nope. All right, if you fail, go to 238. You step back from the door and regard it in frustration. A crunching noise distracts you, and a human shadow falls on a nearby wall. Someone is approaching. You melt away in the other direction. All right, we're failing spot hidden rolls and not making much success picking locks, so I think we're out of options. We searched the village hall, we watched the activity at the beacon, and we checked out the courtyard. So we've done 3. Once you have attempted 3 of the options, go to 98. Well, you're contemplating your next move when you see one villager, a bald man with a damaged ear, watching you intently. Some instinct makes you walk in the other direction. Then you see others ahead, and to your sides, a wary teenager, and an evil-eyed matron, and a man hefting a club. They're not staring as obvious as the first, but they keep you under watch, and they're closing in. You cannot hope to overcome 4 of them at once. Try to lose them among the buildings or run for it. I'm sure this has happened so many times. Let's try to run for it. These people know their village better than you. You pick the biggest gap between them and sprint for it. They give chase. You find yourself heading for the southern road. As you approach, you see 4 villagers stationed in the middle of the road, clearly guards. You veer off towards the half-ruined church. Already breathing hard, you slip inside the building through a broken window and duck under the elderly boards that slash the interior, making for the door on the other side. The door is quite intact, moldy, and locked. 2 of your 4 pursuers climb into the church through the window. The other 2 enter by the main door. Give it up. One thumps the club into his palm. It'll go better for you if you don't resist. You're getting low on options. Try to collapse a section of the roof on them. Really? I don't have much strength for that. Dexterity was my chance, so I think I'm going to give up before I get like knocked out. The fading light from a narrow window tells you afternoon is giving way to evening. Your hands are shackled behind your back and you cannot even lie down on the rough bed. A woman you have not seen before comes in, her face wrinkled and her eyes dull. They don't seem to meet yours, but she puts a cup to your lips. Oh man, I'm not gonna accept that. You turn your face away and she tries again. You dash the cup from her hands using the side of her head. The clear liquid spills across the floor. The woman gives a half shrug and turns to leave the room. You shout after her, but she gives no reaction. You soon become thirsty. So do I have like a thirsty keyword now? As the light fades outside, Your little prison becomes dark. You can hear much activity around the building. Occasionally, an orange glow passes the window. The only comfortable position in the shackles seems to be to sit against the end of the bed with your arms hanging behind you. You need to concentrate and come up with a plan. There's clearly no escape from your bonds. You do not know exactly what your captors want from you, but you cannot ignore the fact that they have spent an entire day constructing a massive bonfire. The door scrapes, wrenching you back into the moment. Orange light spills into the house from blazing torches held at the threshold. 2 large villagers step in and grab you. At least you assume they are villagers. They wear heavy black cloaks, and their faces and hands are painted entirely black, save only for a red triangle centered on their left eye. You try to drag your legs, but they reach under your arms and lift your body from the bed. Outside, it seems the whole village has congregated to see you. Every single one has a blackened face with a red triangle motive. Torches sputter and spill fire. You struggle, but you can see physical resistance is hopeless. You are marched to the center street and turned to face the beacon. All right, this is kind of giving me flashbacks to my Advanced Dungeons & Dragons First Edition series where I talked about bullying by AD&D. My character was forcibly picked up and slammed against the wall and had daggers thrown at me, so yeah, maybe check out that episode if you want to hear it. 117, the procession down the approach is slow and formal, save when you sense weakness and yank at your captors. A chill touches you when you see 3 human shapes carried ahead of you, draped in red cloth. The beacon looms larger and larger. It's a dreadful silhouette, a black triangle pointing to the stars. A low drone begins among the cloaked figures. Unbidden, the word mourners comes to mind. Mourners, okay. Smoke from their torches makes you cough. You feel heat on your face. As you reach the cleared area around the beacon, 3 dancers break from the pack. Young girls swinging balls of fire in spectacular arcs, drawing circles in the night air. One by one, they draw close to you and touch your forehead with sooty fingers. Each one kisses you 3 times on the left cheek, right cheek, and then the forehead. Then they whisper in your ear. The smell of kerosene fills your nostrils. Make an app roll. What is that? App roll. I'm not familiar with that one. We'll check it out. Is that appearance? Yeah, it's appearance. I just have a 50 in that. Just a straight 50. So let's see. We got a 07. That's a that's like the best success I can get. So I must be looking good. Through your sacrifice, the village will be reborn, says the first dancer. You pass from earth to air for all our sakes, says the second. I've weakened the chains, says the third. Don't try to escape until the flames are high enough to hide you. You stare at the third dancer. In that inky visage, you clearly discern the frightened features of Ruth Ledbetter. So is that the one that warned us before? Their dance weaves off and disappears behind the buildings. So I'm wondering if I wasn't looking so good, would Would this not have happened? I'm curious. I don't know. Anyway, I must have charmed her. I got like a super critical success on that roll. It didn't make a difference. It was just pass or fail. But anyway, let's move on. 18. As you arrive beneath the beacon, 10 villagers close in on you. Working with surprising coordination, they immobilize you and lift you up to the blackened iron stairs, to the raised platform. You cannot help but shiver at the sight of the central flamework twisted from past blazes, and what you can now clearly see to be fastening points for a chain. None of the eyes meet yours as they lash you to the metal. The village sings now, something rhythmic and ancient, carved from odd syllables. A second group ascends to the beacon carrying 3 red-draped bodies. With reverence, they arrange their burdens in a triangle around your feet and then withdraw, leaving you alone with the dead, shin deep in the sea of kindling. All right, this is not looking good, but I feel like I've got a couple of things I can work with. I have the chant that I learned, and now I think, due to my just impressive chiseled jaw, no, I'm 50% in appearance. I just happen to be good looking enough that she loosened the shackles. It seems the entire village is gathered around the beacon to watch you burn. Behind the face paint, you recognize May Ledbetter. Sure, I knew she was a bad guy. And yes, that is Silas, stupid bus driver, the coach standing at her side. The audacity and scale of the deception staggers you. Yeah, I kind of figured this out a long time ago. A man steps up on the dais and raises his hands with quiet authority. The frame of his spectacles obscures the red triangle on his face. So we draw here together again on this night, as we do each year, and we give thanks to the one who will preserve the village against the fire of the void. You will be taken by the ones from above in our stead. Your death will bring life to our streets and bounty to our fields. It will safeguard our children and our elders alike for another year. We salute you. He bows his head. All around the beacon, bearers step forward and lift their torches to the edge of the raised platform. A ring of tiny flames flicker up around the perimeter as they wink. The singing of the villagers drops to an unearthly rhythm. Okay, so we have a couple of options here. It's just right here above this picture. To throw all your remaining strength against the bonds, go to 44. Or to wait and see what happens. She said to wait until I was sort of covered by the flames before not covered by the flames, but waited till the flames were a little higher. So maybe I'll hold on to see what happens. The flames snake across the kindling, catching and rising. Smoke rises and it becomes difficult to see the villagers. The 3 bodies surrounding you catch fire, blazing with sooty red flames. You begin to cough as the smoke enters your lungs and fight down the urge to panic. You have learned a strange chant. If you have learned the strange chant and wish to try it, this is the moment. Otherwise, go to 65. Well, I had to do some backtracking and flipping to find out how to remember this chant. So I'm supposed to add 10 to the number where I was, and I was at 40. So we go to 50 here. The flames draw closer as you bring Arbogast's chant to mind. It is hard to clear your head as the heat grows beneath your feet. You cough and sputter, but you sustain the words. Finally, you reach the key passage, and even as your clothes catch fire, you yell for the third time, blah, 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 and go to 270. The swirling tongues of fire around you stop in mid-air. The people around the beacon freeze, their black-painted faces bleached and stripped, as a second sun opens in the air above Emberhead. In an instant, the people in the village, the hill, and all are consumed, incinerated by impossible proximity to the sheer combustion, the essence of fire. Though your body is bound to the beacon, your being is freed. As a spark, you race into space, catapulted through the vastness of the void. The stars burn past you with incomprehensible velocity, and then you are home. Forever you will dwell there at Formalhaunt, where the flames ripple and flow through immense spaces into the rhythms of the universe, where planets themselves move and tilt through unutterable wheels of fire, bound to the clockwork chaos of the living flame, and among the flames you will dance. You have single-handedly destroyed a section of New Hampshire about 16 miles in diameter. This also killed you. The end. Well, I don't know what to say. I guess I destroyed a big part of New Hampshire. So, did I win? I don't think so. Are you supposed to win? I don't know. But I didn't get out of there. But I guess I was able to stop this kind of thing from happening anymore. But I think I ended up destroying a lot of people. So I don't know. But that was my introduction to Call of Cthulhu, playing Alone Against the Flames. Thanks for watching, everybody. I guess not all stories end well. So that's the end of my first journey here. Happy Halloween to everybody. I'll catch you later.